Hey everyone, I am MegaFreak400 and this is Yoshi's Story, the last run through of the game, yeah! As you see I have the black and white Yoshis, so yeah, and all the other Yoshis revive automatically. I'm thinking the only way to get rid of them is to kill them and then finish the game and then they won't appear again. Um, that's my thoughts. Here we have platforms. These platforms allow you to move up and down, left and right, sideways, forward, or not. Why am I saying up and down? I'm spacing out. They move up, and you can move left and right. They allow you to get to higher places. This is the last level of World 1, and as such, I have to, even though I've been doing that anyway, but I have to get all the hearts if I want to get to all the level 4 levels. That shouldn't be too hard though, because I've been doing that the whole way anyway. Yeah, if you get them stuck on, like, if you push them onto, like, squish them on, like, a side of a wall or something, the platforms will disappear. Is it just me, or is that moon really creepy looking? Like, if you look up real quick. Like, if you were in this world, and you were, you know, looking up at the night sky, and that moon, that face on that moon was grinning back at you, wouldn't you, like, have nightmares for years? I would. That's creepy. That's like a stalker moon or something. Stalking kids by daylight. What? No, we're not going there. He's the one they call stalker moon. I'm horrible. So, let's see. What I have something I've been thinking about. That's usually how a lot of my rants start. I just randomly, you know, I notice something and I think, you know what, I think about it more deeply, and then I'm like, this will make a good rant, and I usually talk about it here. A lot of people complain, and I'd recommend not grabbing that umbrella. I accidentally did it by accident, but there's no big deal. It's not like there's any hearts, it's just melons wise. You probably don't want the umbrella. But, and here you have bullet bills. I don't think we've seen them yet, actually. They look like giant flaming pieces of metal. They're kind of cool looking, though. People have been commenting, or not commenting like on my videos, but commenting in general, like, Mario games have horrible storyline. Why is New Super Mario Bros. Have the same basic storyline? It gets old. I want a more creative storyline. Galaxy storyline was too generic, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, Mario has bad story. Well, first of all, Mario is a platformer. The main thing is I don't think that a story makes or breaks the game. So does it have maybe a bad story? Yeah, I could agree with that. It has probably a generic basic story that's not all that great. But does that mean it's a bad game? No. I don't think most people think that, but there's probably someone out there who thinks if the story sucks, the game sucks. Okay, that's A. B, we're gonna break it down to two genres, because they're very different to an extent. You have the 3D platformers and the 2D side-scrolling platformers, like this game, basically, or like New Super Mario Bros. Wii. What side-scrolling platformer do you know of that has a very, very, very in-depth and well-thought-out story, that it has plot twists and all of that? And by story, I mean plot, basically. What one do you know that has really great plot and all that? Very few, and if there is any, they tend to just be in the instruction booklet. Like, it's a backstory and they enclose it in the instruction booklet. There may be a few exceptions to that rule, but the majority of the time, most side-scrollers tend to just have just the action, and any story is mostly at the end. This game kind of, to an extent, has a story, but it's not really a great story. Once you consider Super Happy Tree stealing a great, to make a novel. I would make a novel about Super Happy Tree, or maybe I would. I don't know. It's just a book in here, so. But anyway, so yeah, very few games have great 2D stories. So Mario, in terms of his 2D world, it's very simple. I don't think the story really matters that much in terms of 2D. Could you make it matter? Yeah, but I don't think that. I mean, I guess maybe you could switch it up a bit. But does it really matter, like, if he was capturing Princess Daisy, Bowser capturing Princess Daisy, or Bowser's capturing Mario, which he did, like, in Super Princess Peach or something? Do you think that's really gonna make a big difference in the game? No. Now, we get to 3D games, and again, there's a little bit, you could do this in 2D games, but because of the fact that 2D tends to be super straight action, keep going, whereas 3D, you have a little bit more exploring room, like Super Mario 64 and stuff, so it's not straight action. That's why it works better in 3D, but 3D, you can make a good story. Not necessarily a good plot, but you can have a good story. And you can make a good plot too, but a good story are common in 3D platformers. Best example that I can think of, Banjo-Kazooie is probably the best example, or any of the Rare games, but Kazooie specifically. What is Kazooie's plot? And keep in mind, there is a difference between plot and story. I don't know about the technical aspects, but to me there's a difference between plot and story. Plot is basically just the meat of it, the actual like events, and story as overall things that make up those events, like character design and different elements, literary elements that make up it. There might be other technical words, but anyway, you have the 3D games. Kazooie has basically the plot is, a witch stole your sister. Go save her. The end. That's it. It's basically no different than Mario games. It's no different than Bowser stole Peach. I guess one difference people could say is, well, that's been done so many different times because Banjo-Kazooie didn't do that, and I could agree to that to an extent. The thing is, though, a lot of people want Bowser to be the villain, and yet they also don't want him capturing Peach. So, I mean, Bowser's not really the brightest bulb. He's basically just, I'm gonna capture Peach. The end. If you wanted to have a more intricate story, I would advise you to want a more intricate villain. But anyway, or a more differentiating story. But anyway, Banjo-Kazooie, same kind of plot as Mario, but it has a better story. Why? Because of the characters. Mainly because of the characters. The characters, the dialogue, all of it is very in-depth. It gives you a view on the characters' personalities. All of that allows the story of the game to intrigue you and be really good and really a really good story. The plot itself is very basic and simple, and but because of the characters, and I love how the Yoshi looks when he's falling here because of the wind. The story itself, it works because of the characters and the dialogue and all the other elements. The plot itself didn't make a difference in Banjo-Kazooie. So, if Mario was to have more intricate personality in talking to characters, and the characters would have more personality, like in Galaxy, if the bees had more of a personality, if the toads had more of a personality than they did, yeah, then I could agree with you going in that direction. I don't think that the plot itself, while it could use fixing, and yeah, I mean, but think about the 3D games. The 3D games don't always have the same plot either. It's the same basic plot in terms of Bowser steals Peach, but they change it up. Galaxy changed it up. If Galaxy was to have a better story, I think the main thing it should focus on is not changing the plot direction, but rather changing the character development in terms of the personality of the characters and the dialogue. That is what I would go in if I wanted Mario to have a better story. But anyway, that's the major rant of this week. I would say probably the longest. That was Tower Climb. It's a very simple level, so there really wasn't much to say. This has been Mega 3400 though, since this is basically the end of the video. So I will be reminding you that Valentine's Day is coming up soon.